Good late afternoon, good evening, one and all, to the K12 Esports League Twitch stream here tonight for Marvel Rivals Week 6. I'm Dustin Owens, one of the co hosts for the K12 Esports League, along with Robbie Menegdeg, the commissioner of the K12 Esports League. Robbie, how are we feeling for the final week of Marvel Rivals coming tonight?
I mean, feeling absolutely incredible. Week 6, we are finishing the winter season, regular season part of it this week, playoffs already next week. Super, super stoked to be at this point, and as well, like surprise, Dustin and myself back once again for Marvel Rivals. Shout out to Loyola University of New Orleans, as always, for streaming the majority of our matchups. But as we were let known it is Mardi Gras right now in Louisiana. So I hope they're all staying safe and having a awesome time with that. But looks like the matchup tonight is getting started pretty soon here. We have the MGLVA Surge going up against the K12 PEA Wolves. Name Team Don't Hide. Cheeky one there. Gonna be a very interesting matchup. I know K12 PEA been having a really good regular season thus far, and MGLVA little rocky the up to this point, so we will see how these teams do happen to fare out. But Dustin, whenever you're ready, I think we can head over to picks and bans here.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like we are heading back to Spider Islands for that first convoy map. Obviously, been very popular pick this season and the last and everything. And I will say, as these some of these bands and picks and everything are coming in, just a huge shout out to these coaches and these teams and everything for such a successful first year of being able to do Marvel Rivals here at the K12 Esports League. So really looking forward to seeing how this continues to grow and everything in the future. But with that being said, on the red team, currently on the attack is going to be the K12 PEA Team Don't Hide, MGLVA starting out on defense. We are going to see MGLVA ban Gambit, as well as making sure to lock in the Namor. And then for K12 PEA, banning Iron Fist, Winter Soldier, and then making sure to lock in Invisible Woman. Coming in with the ban also from MGLVA, we have Blade, and I believe both of these teams. I know they were doing some statistic scouting and everything like that based on win rates and everything just before the matchup. So I am curious to see. I wasn't able to check all the histories on some of these players, so I'm curious to see if some of these are counter picks and bans and everything. Moon Knight is going to get locked in for MGLVA. We're just waiting on the pick from K12 PEA as to who they're going to lock in next. And we're going to see that Doctor Strange get locked in, which I think he's been a very versatile tank throughout both seasons. He's definitely one of the more common and easier ones to pick up if you're interested in picking up a tank to start out and everything. We are going to see a Thor ban, and then Groot is we were just having that conversation a little bit. He's a lot,
Fast ban there.
oftentimes a very quick ban in some cases. So definitely curious to see how this pans out. Definitely limits some of their ability to be able to pick different tanks and everything too, because Groot and Thor are definitely pretty versatile. Magneto still being in there though is still a good tank pick in the event that they need somebody. And Emma Frost, which I do see Firebat from the MGLVA side locking them in, is a decent pick as well. So, but it looks like we are trying on the MGLVA side this triple strategist, which has kind of been a little bit of a meta back and forth. Can work in some circumstances, but does not always work. So we'll see how that pans out. And then from the K12 PEA side, we are going to see the 2-2-2 method, which is probably one of the more common methods. 2 tanks, 2 duelists, and 2 strategists coming in.
That's all that matters, darling.
Yeah, and real quick, I do want to touch on K12 PEA started the bans with two duelists, right? 2 DPS characters. And so MGLVA made sure that they were able to lock in their 2 that they have actually chosen in Namor and Moon Knight. So very strategic, I think, back and forth pick and ban there. Both these teams did their homework, did their scouting. Love to see it. But again, we have K12 PEA Team Don't Hide on the offense. MGLVA on defense here to start this one. Daylight on the Namor, actually hitting quite a few shots here. putting down a lot of damage. But of course, this is just the start of a team fight. Healer's still up, tank's still up. It's just going to be a battle for a while, but we will see Shui hop in with the Wolverine into the backline, almost take down Firebat. Firebat somehow will stay alive only for a few seconds, so they will be the first death here today as K12 PA takes the player advantage here. 6 up for them, 2 do go down for the MGLVA Surge, so pushing up this convoy now are the Wolves.
Yeah, and being already halfway to that first point and everything, looking like that they're going to be able to take this to that point pretty easily unless MGLVA is able to kind of get back on this and contest it. They may decide to hold off and just allow them this point and try to kind of get that stop in the next, but it does look like Firebat coming in with the Doctor Strange is going to try something and unfortunately is going to be taken down in the process while trying to come out. MGLVA needing to kind of get a regrouping situation so that way they can kind of all come together against these 2 tanks and everything that are continuously pushing forward along with those doors.
Yeah, K12 PA right now, what I'm noticing is they are isolating players on the Surge very, very well at the moment. And it could be a little bit of a misplay as well from the Surge players, but finding those isolations, getting the 1v1s, making sure that they turn it into a 2v1 or a 3v1, and then eventually taking them out. But we will see Shui, again, get thrown by the things, his heroes for the Wolves, into the back line, will secure himself a double and a triple overall for the team. So K12 PEA still moving up with this convoy, have not really had any sort of momentum shift toward the Surge's side thus far. About halfway done are the Wolves at this moment in time. Firebat in the front line though, as that Magneto will drop once again to Shui, who's a little bit on fire right now. 5 ultimates as well for the Wolves currently up. They're probably going to use a lot of those just to secure this next team fight and really push that convoy up far. But a quadruple stun, I think, coming out of the thing for the Wolves will stop MGLVA in their tracks. This is going to be an extended team fight here. We do have Shamrocks on this Doctor Strange for the Wolves. Now rotating back to their team as the Surge are actually pushing up really decently here.
Yeah, and there was actually a pretty decent move from the MGLVA side, coming in with the rocket ult on top of the cloak and dagger ult to follow, kind of having to push K12 PEA back just a little bit, but K12 PEA being able to get past that second point. I did notice there for a few minutes that the convoy wasn't moving quite as fast. Obviously, if there's nobody on it, it's going to intentionally move slower. So K12 PEA having to kind of backtrack just a little to kind of make sure that that gets up to where they need it to be. MGLVA still trying to provide some poke damage. Is going to get taken out by the Wolverine here, Shui. Down to 43 health at the moment, and with the support of the healers being able to continue the assault moving forward. And they're coming up halfway on this third point.
Coming up halfway on the third point, unfortunately for the Surge, they ended up getting almost a full team wipe. I believe it was 4 players down for sure, maybe a 5th that they did take out from the Wolves. So they were able to win a really pivotal team fight, but right away, the Wolves come back and get a team wipe of their own. So continuing to push this convoy, they are almost done with it here at this point. We do have Daylight switching over to the Punisher, getting some really good damage onto the Phoenix. Will be able to drop them, as well as the Magneto ult coming through, getting a double once again for the Surge. Last second stand here for them. They have done a pretty good job up until Shamrocks on this Magneto, going absolutely crazy. Gets another triple for themselves, and they will finish out this point here. Make that a quad actually as well. That point is going to finish, and K12 PEA, team don't hide, will take this first round. Moving that convoy all the way up with a time limit left of 3 minutes and 16 seconds. The Surge have to beat that time on offense to win this game number 1 here. It's going to be very, very, very difficult. Not impossible, but definitely very difficult. And Dustin, point me out. What are you looking at here at the stats? What's catching your eye?
So obviously, one thing that caught my eye for the most part was K12 PEA being able to consistently push that convoy with really not many hiccups throughout that the whole 3 points. Shamrocks obviously switching off from Doctor Strange onto Magneto is not a problem. Having plenty of damage output as well as being damage blocked, really taking up space. The Thing and Shamrocks kind of weaving in and out to make sure that they are able to get space for that
30
team and
seconds
keep
before
pushing
you
forward.
attack. Get
Shui, I think, with the Wolverine and everything too, is also one of those up in your face kind of players and everything. So they really have 3 people that are truly able to push while continuing to do this back poke damage from Zenitachi, and then obviously the strategist coming in with a W, being able to keep their teams alive. And MGLVA, again, I mean,
battle starts
pretty
in
comparable
5,
healing across the
4,
board between both
3,
teams. They're doing what they
2,
need to do.
1.
MGLVA is going to need to be able to get on top of some of these tanks in this Wolverine and kind of put a stop to some of the push there. And if they're able to do that, I think they'll have a really, really good shot.
Destination.
Yeah, and real quick, I got to shout out Aiden too from the Wolves team on who I believe is the Invisible Woman. 13,500 damage healed in just one round. That's actually nuts to see. But with that being said, we are into this round number 2. MGLVA at the moment stuck in their spawn point. That is a very common thing here on Convoy and Convergence at the very start of games. The Wolves doing a good job of keeping them pinned down at the moment, but we will see Zenitachi drop to Daylight on this Moon Knight. Moon Knight going up now, dropping their ult. It's going to be a great play. We'll get a double. It's basically a triple for them. And so 3 players down for the Wolves. This should be a very great opportunity for Surge to at least push this convoy up a decent amount here on this first checkpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking out both strategists is definitely what you want to be able to do as that duelist, because it can guarantee you the fights, and oftentimes because that means the other team does have to push back out and try to get healed back up before they can really push and take on any additional fights. K12 PEA though, not going to let up, was able to get healed up and is currently back in the action. Currently having this convoy stopped. Shamrock's pushing up to try to get one of the strategists. Does work into their favor. But only one.
Able to get a triple. Shui gets a triple off screen here. Make that a quad. Shui on this Wolverine doing their thing here today is going to go up and try and chase this player who I believe is the Moon Knight from the Surge. But that is a huge play out of Shui coming in, able to get that triple. They're going to team up with the Thing here. Here's the Thing on the Thing. Very punny there, my friend. And gonna get tossed into the back line, I'm sure already happened, but for MGLVA, a lot of stuns do come out onto them from Here's the Thing, and it will turn into and convert into a Wolves win on the team fight here. As 4 players did go down, they are trying to take out this last player, but somehow surviving still to the end. Long enough for Daylight on this Moon Knight to come back in and take out Aiden Tube. They have actually found themselves in a 1v2, gonna try and back up to their teammates. Unfortunately, unable to. Zenitachi on the Psylocke now, able to take them out.
Yeah, and a lot happened in here just because of some of the back and forth. We've seen both things from each side of the field being able to use their ultimates, getting some damage in there, but then both Luna ults being able to also come out, trying to protect their team. We did see NTN from the MGLVA side switch off of Jeff and come on to the Doctor Strange, who currently has ult online. Could be a good setup to move forward, and I believe they may have decided to hold on to it just for a moment as their health was going down. Zenitachi switching over from Phoenix onto Psylocke, and is going to continue getting some really good damage, being able to take down that rocket. And it looks like K12 PA may just hold this convoy as the final 10 seconds coming down. MGLVA gonna have to get on point. Really good opportunity here with the Doctor Strange ult. Is gonna get the Thing with that Moon Knight also at the same time, if they can take out 1B, it could delay some of the
One
healing to
more
be able to
shot.
come back, but unfortunately not going to be able to find that. But 1B being alone is going to have to back off.
A nice deep freeze.
And if
Man,
MGLVA is able
okay.
to hold this, that's the thing.
Absolutely. That was actually nuts, though. We see a 5-person stun onto the Wolves team from the Surge, and then Daylight with the Moon Knight able to take out 3 of them, able to push this convoy up much further. They are really close to this first checkpoint here at this point in time. They are in overtime as well, so the Surge really need to win this team fight and push it forward. Unfortunately, that will not be the case as we see 5 players drop once again. Shui going into the back line, doing their thing, absolutely wrecking Gru. And that will be K12 PA winning game number 1 here.
Yeah, and I mean a lot just kind of going on. K12 PA able to really kind of put their foot in the ground and keep it. MGLVA making some good plays though within that to try to get that convoy pushed forward, but in the end, as you mentioned, K12 PA just coming out on top in this round. But looking at the overall stats and everything, obviously we see those eliminations to death ratios and everything, but overall the damage output between both these teams, I mean you're seeing Moon Knight up here, 20 and 8 obviously, but the damage output alone 20,500. So there's some really good elements that we're seeing here. It's really just kind of getting the combination of things to really work the way they needed to. I think maybe if they would have gotten the Luna there at the last little bit, that could have been a little bit of a game changer because it would have taken some additional time for 1V to be able to come back and help K12 PA out. Could have helped them secure that point, but it kind of just boils down to just simple things as that for them to be able to kind of come out on top. But overall, really good job to these teams, and I'm curious to see how Convergence is going to go in the next round.
Yeah, me as well. But real quick, I gotta shout out one thing that is really sticking out to me for the Wolves K12 PEA, right? Looking at the damage across the board, obviously, strategists they don't do all that much damage, but look at the tanks though. 14,000 apiece. Almost, I mean, they both had more damage than Zenotachi, who was on often, where the tanks are out damaging a DPS person in like a duelist, right? So shout out to the K12 PEA Wolves tanks. I think that was a big difference maker here in this game number 1, but we do have Convergence coming up for game number 2, and we will be back with that one once it is all set up and ready and we are into the picks and bans.
All right, and we are officially back into the action. Going in on Convergence Central Park for this go round, and we have Team Don't Hide actually starting out on defense this go round. MGLVA starting out on attack. Bans so far are going to be Wolverine, Psylocke, Winter Soldier, Iron Fist. With some of the locks this go round, definitely looking a little different. We have a Star-Lord lock from Team Don't Hide, as well as the Atom lock. And from the MGLVA, we have the Thor locked in as well. Must be Daylight's pick, as we see him hovering over Thor and everything. It doesn't look like they're actually gonna ban. I'm not sure if that was just like maybe an undecisive or lock in anybody. I guess it was like an undecisive vote on who to lock in. So we are just waiting for these final two bans to come in. We are going to see the Thing banned, which I think is definitely an interesting pick coming from MGLVA, and then K12 PEA making sure to take away Moon Knight, which I know in a lot of cases would break a lot of hearts amongst these teams, because we have seen Moon Knight played throughout this entire season. at least in one game, almost every single week. There's always been at least one Moon Knight. So
Yeah, and I mean, Daylight on the Moon Knight last game really put in work for that Surge squad. So I'm really interested to know if that lock should have gone over to Moon Knight for MGLVA. But we'll have to just see how it plays out, because Daylight was the Moon Knight player last game, right? And they are on the Thor, which they did lock first, so may not be that big of a deal. Daylight may have wanted this Thor from the beginning, right? Even last game. So we'll just have to see again how it does boil down. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are in the regular season, which means this is a best of 3. Team Don't Hide from the K12 PEA Wolves did win game number 1. They are on match point. If they win this one, they are our series winners. MGLVA does need to win this convergence game to take us to a domination game number 3. Again, the Wolves on defense, the Surge on offense, and here we go.
And I definitely think it's cool. We see some of the players have subbed in and out and everything. Obviously, I want to give a quick shout out too. We saw Shui on the Wolverine that last round. Really cool to see some of the diversity amongst the characters and the heroes that these players pick, as well as the roles. The flexibility in the roles, I think, is huge. Kind of giving some opportunities to other players within this. But into the action we are, and currently MGLVA trying to find some ground to be able to get onto this point. Had Iron Man trying to kind of come around the backside and take point, but was not able to secure anything right off, just because Team Don't Hide currently has the front and the back pretty well covered.
It ain't cheap. Oh, that's the stuff.
And it looks like he's actually trying it again, but he's going to get
Fire
found.
Bat doing it again. Yeah. Yeah, last time it worked out for him because there was only 2 players on the point, so he didn't get melted down so fast. That time it looked like there were 5 wolves all just putting in damage, able to take Firebat out very, very quickly. We'll also see Daylight drop Striker on this group, putting in that work, and we'll actually see 4 from the Surge drop very, very quickly. Firebat in the point by themselves will not survive for too long. Striker with another one as well. And Lol on this Jeff. We saw them on the Jeff last game, and I meant to shout them out last game as well. Able to play a pretty good Jeff here, in my opinion, is and they were getting a couple of solo kills in the back in game number 1, but with that being said, we do have 3 ults online for the Surge, as well as 3, almost 4 here for Team Don't Hide. The Squirrel Girl ult will come out. Will not find anything huge on that one, but the Thor ult coming out from Shamrock will find 1, make that 2 onto the Surge.
And I was going to say, somebody has been on point. It's Daylight. They almost kind of forgot about him a little bit. He's currently trying to get away. Is going to find that, and it's going to 1v1 the Star-Lord. doing some really good job at being able to keep them kind of occupied and everything. Almost had that first bar filled up for that point though.
That's better.
So he's definitely trying to weasel his way in there and get that point taken. Really trying to be a distraction. Hopefully, maybe giving some space to the rest of his team being able to come in. But here's the thing for Star-Lord. Gonna get his ultimate after the elimination on Firebat. And with that Invisible-Man ult, actually is going to be able to take out Cloak and Dagger, I should say.
Yeah, really great gameplay out of Here's the Thing on the Star-Lord. Very good control of the character. Has definitely put some time in on the Star-Lord as well. Love to see it. Again, as Dustin mentioned earlier, just the diversity of the heroes that our players can choose. But we're in a huge team fight here as MGLVA only has 26 seconds left to cap this point. The Squirrel Girl ult does come out, gets some good damage. They were able to, I believe, drop a couple of players very low, but no one has dropped yet from either side. Shui swallowed by the Jeff. Oh my goodness, make that 4 swallowed by the Jeff. And with the play, wow. They're going to be able to take this first point unless the Surge can really, the Wolves can come through quickly. Surge needs to drop this player. They will. Here's the thing, does go down. First is done. Second tick coming through here in just a moment. But the Wolves are back on point. One more team fight. The Surge do need to win. I have Agamotto coming out from Firebat. Will do some pretty good work there. And Surge doing a great job. 3 players have dropped thus far for the Wolves. They have isolated this Doctor Strange as well. Dropped to about half HP. But they survived long enough for their teammates to come back. And the Wolves will be looking like they're gonna finish this first part here any second as the team wipe does come through. Man, what a valiant effort by the Surge though. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was actually a really good play there by MGLVA. Just not quite able to hold on to it. They K12 PA being able to quickly switch over to the Doctor Strange and get that portal back in. And honestly, one of the big things that really helped K12 PEA be able to stay on point was that Adam Warlock ult, because once they started going down, he was able to pop that, be able to get his teammates back in, and then they also had the Star-Lord ult online to be able to kind of help clean that up and everything. But man, what a fight for that point. K12 PEA very close to not being able to hold that there at the end, but a really good showing there from MGLVA on attack. Curious to see how this switch up on defense. Looks like we're going to have a couple different players switch some of the characters around.
Get ready.
And yeah, I'm excited to see the rest of this matchup, how it plays out.
My powers have been active.
Yeah, and what do you know, Striker on the Jeff, he's probably thinking, I can do what you can do. Let me try and get a quad as well with my ult. That was insane. Shout out to Nth Lol once again for swallowing 4 of the Wolves, man, and being able to take them out, go off the side of the map. That was so fun to watch. It's very clutch as well. Again, unfortunately unable to get that point, but man, it was really close there. But we are into this side now. The Wolves on offense, Surge on defense. The Groot Wall coming out from Here's the Thing, gonna do very good as far as letting the team take space. Lib on this Scarlet Witch in the back line now, trying to put some damage down, make sure they get their heals. Doing a lot of damage as well. We do see Shui dropped really low on this Adam Warlock, as well as the Mr. Fantastic from the Wolves. However, the first blood will get taken by Team Don't Hide, make that the second and third bloods as well. As we see Aiden Tube on this Daredevil just get to the back line, isolate this Squirrel Girl, able to take them down, and they have one more player here in Rogue. Unfortunately, not even needed at that moment, because all K12 PA had to do was cap that point more than the Surge, and they will be able to do that in a pretty quick fashion there. that will make our Wolves the series winners tonight. Striker getting the MVP for them on this game. Number 2, I believe they were on the Groot, though, for that first round. Only switched over to the Jeff for that second round. But we'll take a quick look at the stats. Again, K12 PEA winning this one here today. However, for the Surge, definitely saw some really, really good things out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I think the highlight for me, anytime Jeff can swallow more than 4 player, like 4 or more players, that's huge. Just really really solid gameplay coming out from NTN on that Jeff and everything. But for the rest of MGLVA, good elements there. K12 PEA just coming in with a strong front on the defensive side, and then being able to just really dig in with the Daredevil and push with basically you have 2.5 tanks here, because you have the Groot, you've got Rogue that's gonna apply more pressure, you've got Mr. Fantastic, which is like the duelist tank combo because of some of that survivability that he has and everything too. So but some really good elements within this. I would say out of the 2 rounds, this was probably my most favorite to watch out of both of them, even though it wasn't quite able to get past the first point and everything for MGLVA, but it was definitely one of the more memorable matchups that I'll have from this particular matchup this evening,
Yeah.
just because of some of the elements that we saw and everything. So really great job to all these players, and again throughout this season, because this is the first year we've done Marvel Rivals. So kudos to you all for coming in here and showing us your skills and everything.
Oh, absolutely. And real quick, before we come onto camera, I do want to shout out one player very specifically, Twilight Angel, with 13 assists for the Surge. In that backline, doing what they are supposed to be doing. If you take a look at the rest of the team's assists, not quite up there, right? And that is a very stark difference between the Surge and the Wolves here today, where the Wolves, I mean, we see 13 assists for Zenotachi, 14 for Aiden Tube, 10 for Striker, 7 for Shui even as well. So Twilight Angel for the Surge, real great team player there. If the rest of the team can also get a bunch of assists as well, I think that will do them some magic as we go into school year 26-27, because that'll do it for us for the Marvel Rivals regular season for the winter time. And of course, we only rock during the school year, so we make sure that we have the correct 4 teams in there for that one there, Dustin. But Dustin said it multiple times here. I just want to shout it out one more time as a commissioner. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you to our Marvel Rivals coaches and all of our Marvel Rivals players for a fun one, such a success. I mean, it was amazing just to watch all of you play every week on stream. And I know that this was a very, very popular pick for us as well. I mean, outside of Fortnite, you guys, guys and gals that play Marvel Rivals for us, are our second biggest game. So shout out once again to each and every single one of you. But I'm going to look at doing some closing remarks, and I'll send it over to Dustin to officially close us out. Once again, this is the last week of the regular season. Next week, playoffs do start. We'll see everyone tomorrow night for Rocket League, and then on Thursday for Fortnite, and then next week, make sure that you're catching all the action Monday through Thursday for those playoffs, which will be going for 3 weeks straight. As always, got to shout out our players. Thank you so much. Shout out to your learning coaches, parents, and guardians for allowing you to participate with us. Their support for you and for us running this K12 Esports League does not go unseen. And lastly, shout out to all of our coaches. This is not possible without you. We have a great community of y'all, and we appreciate you more than you know. Once again, we'll see you tomorrow night for Rocket League. Dustin, go ahead and close us out here.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned on the Valorant stream last night, the action and the fun doesn't stop once playoffs are over. We actually do have some
Mhm.
spring offerings coming up that some of you all can participate in and everything. We've got two events up right now. If you go to K12.com and go to that extracurriculars calendar to be able to sign up, you just have to be 13 and up, as well as a K-12 powered student. You have to be enrolled with one of our K-12 schools. But we have an Unreal Engine workshop that's going to be lasting for 4 weeks, as well as a solo
Mhm.
Smash tournament that's going to be double elimination. So super excited to be able to bring some of that action and some of that fun and everything to everybody. So definitely look into those and continue keeping an eye out on that calendar for some more events coming up later on in the spring. But with that being said, I believe that's everything that we have. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for Rocket League and for Fortnite on Thursday. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you again soon.
Later.